It is still morning, believe it or not. We have been up doing some things, organizing some people, but it is still morning. And it's a beautiful 64, which I am digging. But you know how to get back outside, right? Like, one of the things that are, I think, pretty good when it comes to Texas winters is that sometimes it's winter, sometimes it's spring, get a little bit of fall, summer. You get all of it in there. But being an earth sign, I had to get back outside and leave a little something. Since this week we've been a little you know, so my heart still aches for my family, right? Like, I don't have kids of my own, but the pain of losing a child, losing your firstborn, I can't imagine. And just seeing my cousins in pain hurts me. But if I have to try to find a bright side to it, one of the shooters have been found. So that is something good there. I mean, in terms of justice, we're a long way off from that. And even if they find both of them and they're found guilty and do all this stuff, it doesn't bring her back, right? Like, she has kids of her own. One of them a baby that will not know her. And her other little ones, like, how do you explain that to a child that their mother's not coming back, right? It's just, you know? So I got to thinking about choices. Choices and the almighty ego. Because a lot of the stuff that happens around us, it's choices. Like, we are given a selection of choices every day, right? And for every choice, there is a reaction, right? There is a consequence. There is a result. Call it what you want, but every choice has that. If you choose not to pay your light bill, we don't have any lights, right? If you choose not to go to the grocery store to get groceries, you gotta find something else to eat. Minor choices, right? But there's still a choice. Choose to go to work, not to go to work, choose to go to school, not to go to school, whatever. But the choices that we're making, they do impact other people as well as our own family. So earlier this week, there was a lady had a car accident. 45-year-old lady driving a Cayenne Porsche was racing with a BMW SUV, 80 miles per hour on a road that is 45. And she's going so fast that when this other driver was making a left turn to, I think, northbound traffic, she couldn't see him. Hit him dead on. 30-year-old died at the scene. His passenger has life-threatening injuries. I think his car flipped to the southbound side and stopped. But her choice to, and I'm gonna call it give in to her ego, to race another car, which, by the way, did not stop. So karma will find that person, okay? But her choice to race this person doing 80 miles an hour in a 45 cost someone their life. So you've impacted his family. The passenger, if she survives, you've impacted her family. She herself was charged with vehicular manslaughter and some other things. So now she's going to jail. So her family's impacted. It's like, for what? Just to prove that your car was faster than that car? I mean, like, was that worth it? Like, I find myself asking about the choices that people make, that we make. Is it worth it? So those two guys, when they were arguing with my cousin's boyfriend, You know, that whole macho ego thing, and ego is a beast for everybody. It's a beast. It just would have been easy. You know what? It's New Year's Eve. I have nothing to prove. And you enjoy your night. Go home. But we just couldn't do that, right? We just couldn't do that. The other day I was driving, and I tend to wait a couple of seconds before I go. And I waited. And then this car whooshes past me. So had I gotten out a little bit earlier, it would have been the driver's side, like dead on. But it just wasn't my time. Thank you, Lord. So I got to the driveway, said some prayers, and I thought, that person's choice to run through a really red light. Clearly, they don't care about themselves, so they're suicidal. Okay. But you're going to impact other people. Like, was it worth it? Waiting, what, a minute and a half for a red light? Is it worth it? Because if you hit somebody, well, you're just not getting there. If you survive the accident, all these other things happen, and you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? Like, I just don't get it. Why some of us pick the extreme versus, I don't know, I hate to say what a normal person would do, because normal is subjective. Running the red light is an easier option versus just being late. Because if you're late, you're late. You could be a minute late. You could be 2 minutes late. Once you're late, you're late. So you're 15, you're still late. Late is late. Like, that doesn't go away. Like, it's what it is. Another case, I'm sure you guys have seen Molly Watson. It's been 3 years, but the fiance, who was still married at the time to his wife of 23 years, he was found guilty of murdering her 2 days before the wedding. And so I got to thinking, you would much rather commit murder and hope not to get caught versus telling this young lady, I am still married, because he told her that his fourth wife, his ex-wife, had just died, but she's still very much alive. But his idea was, I'm going to commit murder and not tell her that I'm already married, versus telling her I've been married to this lady for 23 years and I didn't get a divorce and she's not dead. And like, that's your solution? Like, I just don't get it. Is there something in people's heads that make them go to that extreme versus... But this is why I think it's ego, right? Because it's so much easier to commit murder versus telling the truth, versus being honest, versus being late, versus saying I was wrong, versus just walking away. Like, doing a crime is easier. Please make it make sense to me. I mean, please make it make sense.